Here are a few techniques that I've picked up over the years when it comes to creative contrast. First of all, when you're kind of determining contrast and kind of determining these creative looks, you generally want the same look on your whole movie, or at minimum, probably your whole scene. And so at this point, it's actually a great idea to take these nodes that we're working on in the clip nodes and put them in something like the timeline nodes. All of the nodes flow in order from left to right in the clip page, but if we switch to the timeline page, after all the things that have happened to the clip happen, we can add some more nodes on the timeline level that'll be applied to every clip in the timeline. So what I like to do is set up a couple nodes here, the timeline nodes. You can also do this in the group post clip nodes if you want to. If you're unfamiliar with that, you can shift select all of the shots that are in one scene, right click, and go up to add into new group. And we'll call this living room. And now all these shots are grouped together. And we have a couple more dots up here on the top of our nodes. So we still have our clip nodes and our timeline nodes, but we also have the group post clip and the group pre clip. The way this works is very similar. All of our nodes here happen in order on the clip. If we want to do anything before these nodes, they can go in the group pre clip. If we want to do anything after the clip nodes, we can do that in group post clip. And then anything that we put on the timeline will happen after the group post clip for all the groups. So what I'll generally do when I'm setting up a project is group all of the scenes that are similar so that I can apply one look and one transform to all of them. So I'll just make sure I'm in my clip nodes. I'll select everything and hit Control A for now, right click and say reset all grades and nodes. That's going to bring everything back to our ugly gray log looking footage. And then we can add nodes in our group post clip or in our timeline that are going to help us kind of set up our creative look. So I'll just grab one of these clips from this group and go over to group post clip. And I'll make a new node. This one's going to be called our color space transform, or CST. This one will have our contrast. So let's start with our CST. I'll select that, go over to effects and grab color space transform, drag that on there. Input color space for our footage is going to be Blackmagic Design Wide Gamut Gen 4 to 5. Input gamma is going to be Blackmagic Design Film Gen 5. Output color space, Rec 709. Output gamma, Rec 709. Gamut mapping method is saturation compression. And we're all done. So now this is going to put that color space transform over everything in that group. So things look pretty decent. So I'll select one of the clips, usually a master shot of some kind, whatever hero shot that I want, and we'll go to the group post clip. And before our color space transform, we can start setting up our look nodes. So this one will be contrast. And so let's just start working with our contrast curve here. Maybe add just a little bit of an S curve, add a little bit of contrast just to give a little bit of drama here. Maybe not quite as much, something like that. And now we can switch to any shot in the group and see how it looks. And generally, if you're putting a look over multiple shots, you want it to work like 95% great for pretty much any shot that you put it on. Now, we haven't done anything to each of these shots yet. It just has the color space transform on it. But if this was shot decently, everything should be like 90% there. Should be pretty darn close. Should look good, and this contrast shouldn't be ruining something. This shot could be brighter, could have a lot of things different about it, but the contrast seems to work pretty well. And that's really what we're looking for, kind of this great big adjustment. We're adding an adjustment that will look decent to start out with on almost every shot. And we're just paying attention to the difference between the darkest and lightest parts in the image. and what things are being made darker, what things are being made lighter, and do we like it? I think so far this is pretty nice. So yeah, that's my big tip, is make sure that you're kind of setting up your look in either the group post clip or the timeline. I generally like to do it in the group post clip because then I can decide what shots go into that group. And if I have something like graphics or other shots that I don't want to apply the color space transform to, I can just remove them from the group. But this is a pretty good start. Next, we'll take a look at some more ways to kind of develop our creative look further.